Welcome to Decades of Horror, the 1980s.
It's not you, Ferdy. I'm just not used to being chased around a mall in the middle of the night by killer robots. Duh.
Nobody is.
Yeah.
This is episode 201, recorded February 24th, 2022.
Gruesome Magazine.
I am your host, Jeff Mohr, coming to you from Eli's impenetrable underground bunker hidden in the mountains of Southern California. Nice. This podcast is about horror films released between 1980 and 1989. Each episode, my co-host Bill Mulligan, Crystal Cleveland, Chad Hunt, and I will tackle another classic or not so classic film from this radical, gory, influential, and gruesome decade. So, if you haven't been here before on this podcast, we start off with a few details about the film, and then we just, we come to the fork in the road and we take it. With me tonight is Crystal Cleveland, the living dead girl and co-host of the Gruesome Magazine podcast. Crystal,
Yay.
Good to see you.
Good to see you too. You ready to go spend the night in a mall? I mean, do malls even really exist anymore? They kind of do.
I don't know. I worked in a mall for 13 years.
Oh, God.
Did you work wasn't it a bookstore? Or am I crazy?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
good.
It was a Walden Books store chain. So, Ames, Iowa.
That's
Also
got more
joining
dignity
us.
than working at a Spencer's or something. So,
Well, I felt like it was, providing a service to the community.
Sure. Well, so does Spencer's in its own way.
It's Spencer's.
That's true.
Today's buy one dildo, get one free.
Ooh, really?
With your with a customer card, 5 punches, you get a free.
This
A free
is a store
inflatable sheet.
I'm not aware of
Oh,
By-
sure.
any experience whatsoever. Also with us is Chad Hunt, comic book artist and co-host of Decades of Horror, the all of them. Chad, how you doing, buddy?
I'm good. I've been hanging out over at the House of Almonds, and I'm full.
That sounds good. Almond sounds good.
Yeah.
We promise, Bill and I promise not to spend the whole podcast talking about Harlan Ellison and not let anybody else talk, which we did in the 70s, kind of.
That just makes it easier for me and Crystal.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're basically just
I'm like,
imitating
okay.
what it was like to have Harlan Ellison on a panel. If you ever saw Harlan Ellison on a panel at a convention, it was Harlan Ellison talking and all the other panelists nodding their heads and laughing.
Well, that's what's. God, here we go again. But that's what's
funny
Here we go.
about watching any of those shows, like when he used to be on the Tomorrow Show all the time with Tom Snyder. You'd ask him a question, and he'd start answering it, and then he'd take off on a long-winded, elaborate, very detailed story that you're kind of going, what is this? But he always came back to the original point in some way. It was the easiest job in the world for the...
Right. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Good talk.
Yeah.
Nice.
So,
I'm going to go
and
make
last
a
but not least is Bill Mulligan, writer, director, special effects guru, and co-host of Decades of Horror of the 1970s, which we just mentioned.
Yep.
Bill, how you doing?
And I got Gizzy the Wonder Cat, who loves podcasts for some reason. Jumps on my lap every time there's a podcast.
So I know I'm being
Sweet.
dumb, but where does the name come from, Gizzy?
That's short for...
I was saying like Gizmo, yeah. But
Yeah, I think it is actually Gizmo.
Okay.
But anytime you have a pet, after a while you forget what the actual name is. Like Gizzy, Gizzard, Gizmodo, Gizmopolis.
oh yeah.
These
Gizzard,
chicken gizzards are good.
So
Name the cat after.
That's
Yeah.
what I was thinking. I was thinking gizzards. I don't know.
yeah.
Yeah.
Why would you name your cat after a gizzard?
Yeah.
You probably wouldn't. All right.
A good boy.
So this is a spoiler podcast, so we're going to spoil the heck out of this movie.
Oh, yeah.
And this is a very well-known kind of a
It's a
cult
cult
favorite.
for sure.
It's
Yeah.
a cult favorite, yeah.
chopping
there's
wall
the man.
from 1986
Walter
with a
Paisley.
short cameo from Dick Miller, the man.
Yeah.
This one is directed by Jim Wynorski, written by Jim Wynorski and Steve Mitchell. The cast includes Kelli Maroney, which was just in our the one
Night
we
of the
did
Comet.
for 200 Night of the Comet. Nick Siegel. I put these in order of their boyfriend. Nah, I didn't. So Barbara Crampton, which we also
Yay.
did From Beyond 2 episodes ago. Tony O'Dell, Carrie Emerson, Russell Todd, Susie Slater, and John Terlesky. But I had to put in the supporting cast, the B-movie legendary actors, Mary Warrenov, Paul Bartel, Dick Miller, Mel Wells, and Garrett Graham.
Where was Mel Wells? Did I miss him?
Mel Wells was the cook.
Yep.
Okay.
With the bad Italian
The
accent.
pizza.
With
I
the
didn't
shirt
see
so
Garrett Graham
stained.
either. Where was Garrett?
Garrett
Graham?
Graham was the cyber guy.
Security guy. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Anyway, filmed at the Sherman Oaks Galleria for the most part, which is where the mall scenes from Night of the Comet were also filmed. Release date was March 21st, 1986 in the U.S. And when it was in development, and even at its very first release or screenings, it was known as Killbots. And then ROBOT, and I'm not really sure what that stood for, robot. And then I just like languages. So in Mexico, it was robots asesinos or robot killers. So
It's robot. It's pronounced robot.
robot, I forgot. When does that come from? Was that Ship of Monsters? Robot. Or is that, no, that was an earlier.
That's
science fiction.
Futurama. I'm getting it from Futurama.
Oh, okay. The budget estimated around $800,000. We have no idea how much money this made. The synopsis is a group of young shopping mall employees stays behind for a late night party in one of the stores. When the mall goes on lockdown before they can get out, the robot security system malfunctions and goes on a killing spree. Well, that never happens.
Wah.
And just to get this kicked off, another poster
Buy or
that
die.
doesn't happen.
Come on, that taglines there are really good.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah, but we'll
I
wait.
gotta
We'll get
give
to
it
the
to them
tagline.
there.
We'll get
That's
to the taglines,
really
but the robots do not have hands. They do not have articulating hands.
Nah. So a little artistic license.
Yeah.
But they also don't really chop anyone up either. So
Right.
Yeah, but it's a cool name.
yeah,
So
but they have like the body parts in the bag. So you know,
so Chad, chopping mall taglines. Chop.
Oh.
There's
Let's see.
taglines.
Oh, there
chop.
are.
I feel like I haven't done
Seven,
taglines in a long
seven.
time.
it's been
Okay.
at least a week.
Got 7 taglines. You
Oh, good.
go ahead.
Tonight, Park Plaza Mall switches on the world's toughest security force. Absolutely nothing can go wrong.
Too long.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, too long. That's right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Shopping will never be the same.
Yeah, sure. Yep.
Oh,
Too easy.
yeah.
Okay.
Come on, give us your
Park
best.
Plaza Mall, where shopping can cost you an arm and a leg.
Okay.
Better.
They're not even shopping. This is like why it's so. I'm
They're
like,
not
but
shopping
they
at
really
all.
aren't shopping, but that's okay. I still like them.
Shopping mall, where they slash their prices and their customers.
Oh,
Love it. I love
okay,
it.
that's
I'd say
good.
it's bad and good at the same time. Yep.
Buy or die.
Yep.
It's as simple as that.
Yep.
At Park Plaza Mall, the security force isn't just tight, it's terrifying.
That's
What? I don't-
weird.
What do you mean? What's
Is it
tight
just
mean?
tight? Yeah, I'm like,
That's
Yo,
that
you
sounds.
tight. Is that
super
Valley Girl
weird.
lingo or something?
At Park Plaza Mall, the security force isn't just tight, it's terrifying. Okay.
It's super weird.
Shop till you drop. Dead.
Yeah.
Ooh.
That's my
Oh,
favorite.
yeah, it's pretty good.
hmm
All right. Thank you, Chad.
Thank you,
Appreciate
Chad.
it.
You're welcome.
You're fired.
It's my
Let's go to-
my extreme pleasure to be able to read those taglines every time.
I'll bet. So,
I still say we should write our own.
Oh, absolutely.
And read
we should go
those.
in business.
hey,
Oh, God.
bring them in. We'll read them. So this was my pick, and I sort of explained this last episode, but my mind was doing a connect the dots kind of thing. And after we did From Beyond, and then we did Night of the Comet, and I went, well, wait a minute. Barbara Crampton, Kelli Maroney, Mary Warrenov, the same mall. Yeah, we should do Chopping Mall next. So that was it. That was all the depth of my thinking. It had been a little bit since I'd seen it, but it was still the same. So I believe this was Wynorski's second film that he directed.
Lost Empire, the first one?
Yes. And with apparently some coaching from Roger Corman. And he learned the craft well. To me, the best part about this movie is the cast and the supporting cast that I read. I love all those. And then the film is peppered with all kinds of references to other things. So we'll talk about that later. I'm not going to go into detail there, but and it is striking that, the original title Killbots, which apparently didn't market very well, is a much better description of what happens than Chopping Mall.
Yeah.
Because there's no chopping.
Yeah. Yeah.
And apparently that came from, I forget who told that story. I think maybe it was Jim Wynorski or something, but it was like somebody emptying the trash in the screening room. It was like, why don't you call it Chopping Mall? It takes place at a shopping mall, Okay.
Okay.
So,
yeah.
That man's name is James Cameron. Yeah, I wonder if that could be that.
So anyway, it's a fun little movie. It's definitely got its problems. It's not. I said something at Night of the Comet about my aversion to quote unquote teeny bopper movies with annoying teens. This one wasn't too bad. There was one annoying guy.
Can I guess who that is? Yeah.
Yeah, and but he's like the first one to die, I think.
He was aggravating me hardcore with that gum smacking.
So anyway, with that, we'll let's go to Crystal Cleveland next.
Oh, yay!
When was the first time you saw this, and what's your first impressions?
Oh God, I don't really remember the first time I saw it because I wasn't that young when I saw this one the first time, but I do remember watching it and thinking, oh, it's good. It's no Night of the Comet. Like, I enjoyed this movie, and I really enjoyed it again this time as well, but it's way more serious. It's a lot less lighthearted, or at least it feels that way to me. I mean, it does have its moments, but it's like, it's actually got a really good story, though. I mean, it's a solid movie. It has a good story, has a good plot. They explain their little things. They have a couple little jokes here and there, I think the acting was good. I think Barbara Crampton and Kelli were really cute together in this. I think it's entertaining. It's just, I don't know what it is about it. It's just not one of my favorites. It's just not. Mm-hmm. It's okay. I liked it. I should probably like it more than I do, but I just don't. I'm not a huge, like, I think these type of robots just do nothing for me. I prefer androids. So this is like, oh, okay, robots, cool.
Robots, cool.
When it's androids, I'm in. I love like AI. I love that. But I mean, at least they did explain how they went off the rails too, thankfully. Yeah. I mean, clearly lightning is very, scary.
I mean, I think they stole that from Frankenstein, right?
Yeah.
The lightning strikes and the monsters go, well, no, probably not. But all right. Chad, how about you? When did you first see this? What's your impression of it?
I've rented this, I think, from a video store, and I was surprised at how there were no redundancies put in place for Lightning bringing.
Yeah, like are
robots
they
to
not
life.
grounded?
Yeah, something there. But
No circuit breakers, no GFIs.
Right, no, nothing.
Seems an oversight.
Yeah, no. And I remember liking it. It had some cool kills in it, and especially the exploding head and that kind of stuff. But I was confused as to the tone of it or what they were going for. I knew they were making references to other things. I knew Dick Miller. I knew Walter Paisley, that connection, and then one of the characters says, "Can they read our mind?" And the other guy goes, "Oh yeah, they'll be really mad when they get to me," which was my favorite line from The Thing from Another World.
Mm-hmm.
And I've said, "Oh, I see what kind of movie this is. This is now." So yeah, it's one of those that I like, but it's not one that it's not a go-to when I want to watch a horror movie every time. But it is fun.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And the references are fun. I like the actors, and I like all the little nods to other movies and stuff like that. And it's just pure Jim Wynorski cheese. And if Jim Wynorski was a cheese, he'd be Limburger.
Oh.
But,
Fighting word.
I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but
I know. I did. Yeah.
No.
I like all
Limburger
cheese.
cheese is good.
Yeah, I like all cheese.
It stinks, but it's good. But yeah, but so that's how it is for me. It was nice to go back and revisit it for the podcast.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Mr. Mulligan, how about you?
Well, first, I have a question. I've never actually had Limburger cheese. Is it as stinky as they say? Because all I know about it is from those cartoons with the horny skunk.
Yeah, it's horrible.
Yeah, and
Okay. Good to know.
It's horrible. It's horrible.
It's amazing how they made that work for him, though. It's like, you want stinky cheese? Sure, who doesn't? No, Limburger, stinkiest.
we're gonna make a cheese that you can use in jokes for the next century.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Right. So,
If it weren't for Limburger cheese, there'd be no Little Rascals episodes.
that's right. But I've never seen it for sale at a grocery store. But I guess it must have once been something that graced America's
Do you go
tables.
into like the really expensive cheese section though?
Do I
It's
look
not
like
with
I go in the really
Okay,
expensive section of anything?
then that's probably why. Because
Maybe.
it's like with the Emmentaler and like the really nice cheeses.
You really know your cheeses.
Well, I like fondue. And so, like, for fondue, I will spend the money for the good cheese. I mean, otherwise, I'll use Kraft. I don't care. But when you
And then you
use a
break
really
out the
good cheese,
Limburger, take out the Limburger when it's time to have everybody leave.
Yeah.
when I want the cheese to myself.
Yeah, okay. Now I want to try it.
So anyway.
Okay, go back to this movie. Speaking of cheese,
cheese.
you know what? I realized that I think Crystal really hit on something. I don't find these non-humanoid robots to be all that scary. Now, modern ones, the ones that kind of look like animals with their legs backwards, and they're terrifying. You put a laser beam on those, and I'm running. But I've never really found these clunky-looking treadmill things all that scary as opposed to Cyborg. Terminator, great stuff. So yeah, that's part of it. I mean, this is an okay film. It's definitely an 80s exploitation time waster. It's not something that I'm watching like just enraptured with every moment. I feel like I'm multitasking when I'm watching a movie like Chopping Mall. But that being said, it's got a good cast. I love the cameos.
Yeah.
But although it does give the film kind of a weird tone because, like you say, like Crystal said, it's pretty serious. But then you've got Dick Miller. Well, okay. And then you've got Mary Warnoff and Paul Bartel, who look like they just wandered off the set of Eating Raoul. And they're just goofing off there and everything and hamming it up for the camera. And
they were only like 5 minutes or something. Like that was fast, right?
Apparently that was a setup to a joke that never got told. They were going to come back with a horse, intending the robots to slice the horse up with their laser beam so they could sell it at their restaurant. It sounds like a really long way to go for a joke.
They really are. They really are. They're same characters as
So messed up.
From Eating Raoul, yeah.
Mr.
Yeah,
and Mrs. Bland, and they talk about using something for their restaurant, you know. So.
And apparently, at the last minute, they found out that Roger Corman was not going to pay for a horse, so that whole joke got scotched. But you know, so
stuff gone from Animal House.
Sure. Yeah. With a Roger Corman movie, I'm surprised they didn't just actually buy a horse costume and pass it off as the real thing. But you know, okay, so but it's fun, and you know, it does have a real following. When I thought that we had done this film before because I did a panel where we talked about 80s films, and we brought this one up, and the audience flipped. They loved this film.
Yep.
Yeah.
Or they remember loving it. So say what you will about it, it seems to have wormed its way into people's brains, and there's a lot of nostalgic fondness for it. So they did something right.
They did. Well, let's take a look at it. You've got Bill's provided us some info here. Mr. Wynorski is
he's done a lot.
Interesting character.
He is an interesting
House
character.
on Hooter Hill. What the?
Yeah.
Oh,
The babe wench. Is this porn?
No, it's softcore, R-rated, nudie stuff.
You know?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's almost like the movies. It's like the movies Russ Meyer used to make before hardcore took over, where it's just, hey, look, we got naked people. You're like, whoa, who needs a plot? And that's what those movies are like.
The Hills Have Thighs. Is,
The Bear Wench Project. He made about 5 Bear Wench projects.
Yeah, I actually saw the first one. I don't know why I didn't follow through with the rest of them.
But he did a few. Return of Swamp Thing in some ways is better than Swamp Thing. It's not great.
That's.
Oh yeah. Speaking of which, this is the second Wynorski film we've done, I believe.
Yep.
What was the first?
Yeah,
Return of Swamp Thing.
Oh, there we go. Yeah. You know, but I feel like he's made a lot of movies, and he didn't get better as time went on. If anything, he became. You just get the feeling at a certain point he realized no one really cared whether the movies were good or not. So why put in the effort to make them good?
Well, he strikes me as kind of like Herschel Gordon Lewis in that he found this niche where he could make money without spending money, and he didn't have to worry too much about quality.
One of the stories of him hiring Kelli Maroney was he was hoping that she would go out on a date with him, so that's why he gave her the part. So I can assume all these other films maybe had something to do with.
What's the point of having power if you can't abuse it? There is a documentary about him, and it's got a weird name like Papalopoulos, or I know I'm mangling that, but it's a documentary about him making a movie in 3 days. And it's one of these nudie movies. It's terrible. I mean, the movie looks terrible. The documentary is interesting, although it doesn't really put him in the best light. You know, he's working his crew hard. He's working his actors hard, and it doesn't look like they're having a lot of fun doing 100 setups a day.
Well, I saw a quote where he was, where I think it was Kelli Maroney was saying he was a nice enough guy as long as you knew your lines and hit your marks. You were on time, so that kind of, do what you're being asked to do.
Well, here
did he do Not of This Earth with Tracy Lords?
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
Okay, I thought so.
I mean, these titles are awesome, and I know we went through those with Return of the Swamp Thing, but The Devil Wears Nada.
That's actually pretty brilliant right there. That's good.
Yeah, it is. That's funny.
You got all these titles off the men's room at a
Shark and Saw Women's Prison Massacre. What?
What?
He did it. Yeah, he did a number of sci-fi. Mega Piranha versus Anaconda or something. Yeah,
Piranaconda. Yeah,
Piranaconda.
So anyway, he found a niche, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, what did we have here? We have House on Hooter Hill.
House on Hooter Hill.
The Bear Wench Project, Witches of Brestwick, Return of the Swamp Thing, and then Munchie.
He made kids flicks. He made definitely not for kids flicks. You know,
well, he used different names. He did a lot of stuff under different names too, so
right.
Wouldn't necessarily be associated, I guess.
He did Vampirella, and it's terrible, and that's
too
ticked
bad.
me off.
Yeah,
because I've always wanted to see a good Vampirella movie.
Of course, yeah. I know.
And
That's
doesn't look like it'll ever happen.
Well, he's still alive and did. This year is listed Bigfoot or Bust. I'm sure Bust is.
Okay.
then,
I was like,
we're going there.
Attack of the 50-foot Cam Girl.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Let's just throw something in there. All right. Well, Jim, you were a force to be reckoned with.
That's right.
So then the leads, and Kelli Maroney is kind of she's the lead, and she's it's interesting. I love this because these two parts, she and Barbara Crampton. Barbara Crampton is supposed to be sort of the more worldly one here, and Kelli Maroney is the sweet, sort of innocent, but yet not quite as innocent as Ferdy.
Yeah. Dad was a Marine.
Yeah, my dad's a Marine. Yeah, but then if we go back to Night of the Comet, she was sort of she was the younger,
right,
raunchier sister, kind of, in a way.
Yeah.
Was she though? We could debate that because the other sister was like.
She's getting it on in the projection room.
Hooking up with guys in the projection room.
And it was just hooking up, and she was like, "I'm not a hooker. I don't get paid." I mean, she was pretty bad. She was pretty bad too.
But it kind of threw me a little bit of how Barbara Crampton's character was here.
She was so good.
You usually see her as the tough woman, the tough character.
Yeah. I didn't recognize her.
No, she played this little whiny, I gotta save Jeff, or whatever that guy's name was.
Yeah, once the robots came, she just turned into
she just
kind
fell
of a
apart.
withering mess. When the three women were trying to escape through the vents, or the ductwork. Yeah, she was just like hysterical.
The top picture,
Greg Deatsby.
Yeah.
The top picture right there where the robot shot the can of gas, but the can of gas was still there after she blew up.
Yeah, well.
Kind of threw me a little bit too.
That was a good burn scene, though. I mean, whoever the stunt woman was, they were on fire for a pretty good long time.
Somewhere, that's another one of those where somewhere I read that they actually had to shorten that because they said it was too long. It was too. He wanted an R rating. So I don't know.
I think he pretty much sealed that with the exploding head.
Yeah, you would think.
Yeah, but I think the burn scene, for some reason, it was shortened, and it had something to do with the.
So what? They would have given it an NC-17 if they hadn't shortened the burn scene?
I don't know. No, I don't know.
Maybe it was England.
I don't remember, but
England can be pretty weird with rules.
Ralph, if you're listening, tell us about why that burn scene needed to be shortened. But they said it went on pretty long, and it was sort of like Wynorski hadn't, it was his first movie really, and he didn't really know how soon to stop it. And
I would have been terrified. I'd be terrified to be making my first movie and have a burn scene because I can just think of 8 million ways that could go wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And weren't they like the rule was they could film in this mall, but they had to make sure nothing got hurt or destroyed or ruined?
Yeah. I think that's why they had the red carpet everywhere. When's the last time you saw a carpeted mall?
Oh, okay. I was going to say, because damn, that's
smart.
Well, I did read, there's a lot of scenes where they've just broken through like big panes of safety glass, and there's all this glass laying on the ground that they said they swept that up and reused it.
No.
The glass on the ground.
Oh, yeah. It's
a Roger Corman movie. Of course you're going to reuse the broken glass. Broken glass doesn't grow on trees.
Nope.
So this Susie Slater is kind of interesting. Speaking of which, the head exploding scene.
Yeah.
That blank space there is where her head used to be.
Yeah.
She kind of disappeared after this.
Yeah, what happened to her then?
Yeah,
Just
her
head
got
got
out of
blown off.
acting. Just got out of acting. She did she did a few things. I'm sorry, but not a lot. And
Not as
by,
much as you'd think,
93, that was it. She had a total of 13 credits. This was her 4th movie credit. Anyway, great scene, and when you think of head exploding scenes, you got to go to Scanners or
Deadly Friend.
Maniac. Oh, well, I was thinking Maniac with Tom Savini blows his own head off.
It was funny how the same laser that blew her head off would bounce off the little Playboy bunny on her underwear.
Okay. Fair enough.
No, it burned that brand, didn't it? Oh, no.
Ooh.
Yeah. So Jim Wynorski is not shy about just showing like the whole screen is her butt and panties walking down the.
But
somebody say something else.
Those robots were ridiculous, though. I mean, the whole premise that to save them all from shoplifters, you create robots that would be the envy of any army on Earth.
Mm-hmm.
How much money do you think you're getting from Zabaro's Pizza to make sure nobody steals the pepperoni when they're not around, as opposed to what all of Europe would be paying for these robots right at this moment?
Yeah.
Laser beams, really? Come on.
Yeah, they were cute laser beams too.
Yeah. Also, these robots are bad shots. I mean, those guys are standing out there shooting them, and the lasers. These guys got their training from stormtroopers. I mean, they are not even coming close to hitting these guys.
So, let's look at the robots. And apparently, Wynorski told somewhere I've got his name down. Robert Short built the robots, and Wynorski told him he had the idea from GOG.
Oh, okay. Wow, that's
something like that. Something like that, only modernized.
Good gracious.
GOG. He must have been one of the 3 people that saw GOG.
So he did pretty good shape. He did a decent job here.
Yeah, they look pretty sharp.
Yeah, I mean, especially for the 80s. Come on, yeah. I mean,
And the big Cylon eye in the middle,
get.
that's pretty good. And the little clacky hands.
And then it shot, I don't know what those things that were shooting stuff out of the holes. I don't know what they were, but it made a little X or
Is that
cross.
like the taser or something?
Yeah, I don't know. He was killing people with it. That's how Garrett Graham got it. They didn't all get it the same way, but they basically go around on their treads. And I think, what did I read? The treads, the thing was mounted on a wheelchair frame, and then the treads were from conveyor belts chopped up.
Good job. I did a good job of construction.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There's the nuts and bolts don't show. That looks decent. The little arm comes out and grabs the guy by the throat. We just have to assume it's ripping his throat out, I guess.
Right. Yeah.
All right. Chopping mall. Actually, robots. Now, what you got? Oh yeah, this is the Western scene.
Yeah. Yeah, it was.
The music didn't really work.
The music was, I guess, appropriate, but awfully. I mean, it sounds like a guy and his new synthesizer.
Right. I don't mean the music wasn't good. I meant in this scene, it seemed like they were going for like a spaghetti western feel, and the music didn't.
Yeah, that didn't match up.
Screaming.
Our guns are useless against their steel hide.
Keep shooting.
How about if I climb on top of an elevator and put these LP tanks up there. And...
Okay, go ahead and shoot. Oh, wait, let me jump off first.
Yeah, I'll ram them with my mall-mobile that goes 5 miles an hour.
Oh. That was
Oh
the
my
most
God.
hilarious scene I've ever seen. The two of them, that robot gets hurt and it's spinning around, fire and lasers, helter skelter. It's out of control, right? It's been shocked, and the woman is see, who was that? Carrie Emerson.
Yeah.
She's going, look out, Rick, look out, and she's just standing there.
Yeah.
She gets hit with the laser.
At first, I thought that laser beam hit her belt buckle and she was going to live, but no, she had this big belt buckle.
And then the guy jumps out. I don't know what was that thing, but that was ridiculous.
I don't know, but it moves slower than the robots did.
God. I'm gonna get you.
It's like an Austin Powers joke. I'll be there in a second.
Yes.
Ram ya.
There may have been an actual deal behind that. Well, so we had the ever popular Dick Miller as Walter Paisley.
We got the lightning. Yeah,
very realistic lightning effect
bucket
there.
Of blood, and then lots of other movies as we go through. Yeah.
But he always plays. Whenever Joe Dante would have him in his movies, he always would name him. The character's name would be Walter Paisley.
Yeah.
Right.
So he was always playing that character forever, I guess.
Well, they did that here, and they stuck it in. They had the two other maintenance guys walk by, and one of them goes, "Oh, Walter," and the other one says, "Oh, you're screwing it again, Paisley," or something.
Yeah,
so it was.
The one skinny guy. The other guy was the professor guy from Return of the Swamp Thing. I can't remember his name now, but he had an odd name.
Yeah.
Remember the guy in the lab coat that was in there creating the genetic monsters or whatever?
Yeah.
But I can't remember his name.
Yeah. It's always fun to see Dick Miller in a movie. I mean, these jokes, these Walter Paisley jokes, how many people who watch this movie would even get them? But I kind of admire that, to slip in a couple of things. Just if you do get them, you feel special. Because you know you're the only one in this whole audience that gets the joke. It's kind of like a little connection between you and the filmmakers.
So most realistic lightning I've ever seen in a movie.
Oh yeah! Wow.
It looks like he's being tickled by electric eels. I don't know.
Yeah,
that's
one of the things we take.
Wormies.
We take that for granted now. If you have After Effects, you can make lightning look real now. But this was, someone had to actually sit there and probably by hand color in draw these bad animations. It ain't Disney.
No.
Yeah, but it was fun.
So we mentioned these guest stars, and this is what I really got the biggest kick out of.
Well, I did not recognize Garrett Graham with the glasses and the way his hair is and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was pretty straight compared to other.
Compared to Phantom of the Paradise.
What was he reading? Like it came from outer space or something? I think he was reading.
Yeah, he was reading something.
It was actually I'm thinking, was that a Wynorski collection that he made of stories based on? God, what did I read something about that. That was it was a real book, right? That had some connection. Yeah, he doesn't have much to do, and Paul Bartel and Mary Wernoff come in and do their characters from Eating Raoul, and basically, I believe they just sort of ad-libbed their lines.
It feels kind of
sounded like it, yeah. Unlike Mushnick down there.
Yeah, Mushnick.
Mel Wells in the bottom from what was he in?
Little Shop of Horrors
with Dick Miller.
And
no, that wasn't Dick. That was Bucket of Blood.
Yeah. He directed Lady Frankenstein.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, he also was involved.
And you should feel sorry for him for that.
Yeah.
God, what was the name?
He was in Attack of the Crab Monsters.
Crab Monsters, which there was a
crab
nod to that too. They were watching Crab Monsters on TV, which we covered in Decades of Horror, the classic era. Nah.
I'm drawing I'm Man-Eater from Hydra.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Making
he was
it.
involved
So,
in that one. My wife
yeah.
was to her, the scariest thing in the whole movie was the thought that people are eating at a diner where the cook has
like
this
that.
disgusting shirt.
Oh man! And he just wipes the spatula on his
Yeah,
shirt.
you can almost see the flies buzzing around him.
Well, then
Cigarette ashes falling in the food.
the one guy they look at who's like, I forget what the deal was, but they were
The big
joking
guy in
about
the corner.
him. Yeah, and then as they walk by, waitress, can I have more butter?
More butter, waitress.
There's like cheese and stuff dripping off his
Yeah.
face. Oh, I love these guys. So you set me off, or the movies that we've done recently set me off on. I had in the last night when we rescheduled, I watched Eating Raoul and Death Race 2000.
There you go.
Mhm.
So both movies filmed, directed by Paul Bartel for
Mary Warnoff.
Foreman, and Mary Warnoff was in them.
Yeah.
And then that also we talked about Eating Raoul because Robert Beltran was in it, and he had recommended Mary Warnoff for Night of the Comet. So anyway, it all comes together.
All comes together.
I had a big crush on Mary Warnoff.
I still have
yeah.
a big crush on Mary Warnoff.
I love her so much.
Yeah.
I saw her at a convention a few years back. I mean, she's an older woman now, but she looks like Mary Warnoff.
Mm-hmm.
And it's one of those things. I kind of dislike going to the conventions where they have a lot of folks, at the tables and everything, because I see people and I'm thinking there should be a line circling around the block for some of these actors, but people don't know who they are.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
It bothers me. But she's still sharp as a tack, and I think has been doing a lot of art stuff. Doesn't act as much anymore, but just a lovely woman.
So I think you guys mentioned several of these sort of callbacks, I guess, to other movies. There was the one where Kelly Maroney's character shoots the LP tanks on the elevator because nobody else can hit it, and then she looks at Ferdy and says, "Dad's a Marine," which is kind of like from Night of the Comet, where Dad wears the green beret. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
What else did we have? Oh, her character's name, Kelly Maroney. Her character's name, Allison Parks, was a Playmate of the Month from the 60s that Wynorski was particularly fond of. Yeah. So,
Jim.
And did you notice a couple of the store names?
Oh, yeah, Peck and Paws.
Peck and Paws.
Peck and Paws Sporting Goods,
Peck and
and then
Paws.
the other one was Roger's Little Shop of Pets. I don't know. I just loved all that stuff that was in there. So, any comments on? I'm trying to think if there's anything to say about these relationships, and if you notice, the couples seem to get killed off together, or in rapid fire. So.
Well, that's
Susie
good. So they
Slater-
don't have a lot of time to mourn,
Susie Slater and John Terlesky. Terlesky dies when she insists she has to have a pack of cigarettes.
Yeah.
And
right.
Then she can't stand it because he doesn't come back, and she goes down there. And that's when she gets her head exploded.
The funny part of that was when he goes, cigarettes, $1.25 a pack.
I can't imagine how much I bet you a pack of cigarettes is like $10. Maybe it's more. I
don't smoke, but I know some people that do, and they pay between $7 and $10.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I figured. I figured it had to be because.
All those old machines with the knobs that you had to.
Those are great. Those are great. What next? Gasoline, 50 cents a gallon? Jesus.
Yeah.
What's the world coming to?
Imagine some of those people smoke a pack of cigarettes a day. Can you imagine spending $7 to $10? Those people better not say anything to someone who goes and gets Starbucks or something, because that's a lot of money.
My favorite thing used to be to put cigarette loads in all their cigarettes and blow the cigarettes.
Oh
to
yeah.
smithereens.
Oh
Wait,
yeah.
like
Yeah.
cigarette loads, like it
There
blows
were
up.
these little. Yes, it blew up.
Yeah,
And I did that. I did that to like my cousin's boyfriend, and to this day, I don't know why he did not punch me in the face repeatedly until I bled. That was really obnoxious when you think about it.
Yeah,
Your
they look
skull would
Scary.
blow
They
up.
look like
Scary.
little splinters,
Ooh.
Like
Yes.
a piece
And
of
you-
rice
Yes.
or something. Yeah.
And they had
Slip 'em in.
gunpowder in them.
and as soon as they would light it, the cigarette
Isn't
would
that
just be blown to
dangerous?
smithereens.
Yes,
Probably.
it had a flying ember goes into your
Yeah.
eye. I mean, seriously.
It's probably why
it
I
was
don't think they make them anymore.
Oh no, of course not.
They,
Oh,
they
I'm
make
sure.
stink bomb loads. How did we get on this subject?
Cigarettes.
Oh, cigarettes being a
Mhm.
dollar. and a
All the
quarter.
all the things you could buy in the back of a comic book were real,
Yeah.
except for
Yeah.
X-ray specs, which were a big ripoff. But yeah, you could buy these things, and you look back on it now, and you're just like, how did we
Mhm.
live baby monkeys? You know,
I remember ordering itching powder, and I opened the little
Yeah.
bag, and it just looked like pocket lint.
What
But you-
was it? What is itching
It
powder?
literally looked like pocket lint with little scraggly pieces that you just drop down somebody's shirt, and they would get itchy. And
Did it work?
I'll bet.
yeah, it worked.
Yeah, it was.
Okay,
I think it was ground glass. I think it was actually ground glass and some carcinogen.
Are you
mixed in there.
serious?
No,
Some
who
other
the hell
explosive.
knows? I don't know, but
Yeah.
That
don't
would
see
make
it sold
sense though
anymore.
to make you
It would.
itchy.
totally would make you itchy. No
Oh
laws.
my
back
god,
then.
Welcome to Practical Joke Corner. Yeah.
Yep, the '60s were a dangerous, horrible place.
that is scary though.
But
Oh,
getting
here we
back
go.
to this, I do approve. If you got couples, you got to kill them together, because the last thing you want in a movie is some guy moping around. It's like, did you see how my wife just got burned up? It's like, yeah, Kevin, we know. Sorry. Can we get on to something else now? So kill off that guy right away.
Although, let me think about this. No, they got killed in order, I think, because then Rick and Linda Stanton, they get killed simultaneously. And then I'm trying to remember exactly when Barbara Crampton got torched. Was that before the couple died?
No, because I think those guys were ahead of them with the guns.
Okay.
Still.
Then Greg dies after that when the robot throws him off apparently the
Right.
10th story of the mall.
Yeah,
As we see repeated shots from different angles
Yeah.
of it
yeah.
plummeting.
They spent a lot on that stunt. They had to make it count.
Yeah.
Right.
And then we think that Ferdy dies, Tony O'Dell, but it was only a flesh wound, I guess.
I got
Oh, that's a lot of blood for his flesh.
Yeah, at the back of
It's only a
head.
flesh wound. Reminds me of
Yeah.
National Lampoon's European Vacation.
It'd be like Bad Taste, where he's got the flap, he keeps closing. And,
putting brains back in.
That too. Yeah, that's funny.
Well, and then when Kelli Maroney throws the flare, and her voice like goes into echo magnification or
Oh, yeah.
something, some sort of sound.
Have a nice day.
That book that Eric Graham was reading is They Came from Outer Space, 12 Classic Science Fiction Tales That Became Major Motion Pictures, published in 1981, edited by Wynorski, and a foreword by Ray Bradbury.
You know, I think I had that book. Maybe I still do.
I'd like to have
And,
that.
and one of the stories is The Racer, which was
Death
loosely
Race 2000.
in the Death Race 2000, yeah.
Very loosely.
So anyway, that was a real thing. And,
Yeah.
Jim's plugging his book in his movie.
Sure, why not?
Yeah.
Come on, get a date and sell some books. This sounds like a good reason to make a movie.
Yeah.
Yep.
The Jim Wynorski way.
So I'm
How
assuming
to
that
Pick Up
didn't.
Cheap Women by Jim
Yeah.
Wynorski.
I'm assuming that didn't work out for him.
No. Not according to Miss Maroney. She it wasn't
Yeah,
interesting.
and it's weird how this got morphed because Wynorski and Mitchell had another idea, I think. Wasn't it a slasher in a mall?
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah,
then
something
Julie
like that.
Corman had a deal with Vestron that make a horror film that took place in a mall. I don't know where the robots came in. I think they decided slasher was too old hat
Right.
or too commonplace. I
By
don't
that
know.
time, probably.
That's probably when he watched GOG and went, robots.
Well, someone bought the rights to this and was going to remake it, I think back in 2011, and they were going to give it a supernatural twist to it. But nothing ever happened with that, I don't think. But supernatural and robots, I don't know.
Yeah, that doesn't inspire. Seems unnecessary.
All right. Anything else we need to talk about here?
Yeah, my back hurts like right here.
There was one other throwback.
Well, you asked.
What's his name? Says Klaatu Barada Nikto.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Day the Earth Stood Still.
And then,
Yep.
Yeah.
And Evil Dead.
We're done.
And
All right.
Army of Darkness, yeah.
Well,
Right.
Chopping Mall's available on Shudder right now, and there's also Joe Bob Briggs treatment.
Tubi
where
as
he
well.
It's also on Tubi, and are you getting a kickback from Tubi, Chad?
Me?
Yeah.
No, I wish.
Oh,
Hints it a lot.
Okay.
Probably wouldn't have to do this podcast if I. Oh wait, I don't get paid to do this either.
Yeah.
There's not a lot to say about the movie. Even Joe Bob spends most of his time talking about sex robots, not specifically the movie.
Yeah,
But
he does.
He does have Kelli Maroney on, and that's fun.
Yeah, he does a whole lead-in on sex robots for some reason.
Yeah.
So they list in IMDb, they list the body count at 10, and I couldn't come up with 10. So I must be missing something at the beginning. There was the 3 couples, that's 6.
Okay.
Right.
And then Dick, and then the scientist, and the other
scientist.
security dude, and
So there must be a 10th one somewhere.
there's someone
Did they
else.
count the guy in the beginning, the criminal in the movie?
Maybe, but he supposedly wasn't killed, but who
Looked
can
pretty
tell?
dead.
All right. Well, that's it for
Yep.
Chopping Mall, folks. Check it out. There's lots of it's available. Blu-rays are out there and all that stuff. We have a ton of feedback tonight.
Yay.
Woo-hoo!
We'll start off. We're going to go kind of in reverse. We'll start off with episode 200, Night of the Comet. We have one from Mike Zatz. Who wants to read that one? Please, somebody.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, I'll do it.
Okay. Oh yeah, I was
Okay.
thinking about
Valley
you
Girl.
because the Valley Girl accent.
Yeah. It's like totally 80s for sure. Gnarly zombies and Lost of Dusty Roads. Okay.
Must be lots.
Yes. That's why I was like, I'm going to read exactly what you put there. I'm Ron Burgundy. Okay. No, not the wrestler, but he was totally in the ring in the 80s. Totally. High hair, neon fashion, and colors. What more do you want from an 80s film? Yeah, totally. I'm with you. Okay, I'm supposed to go back to normal, but I don't know that wasn't
It's the
me
same
normal.
thing. Yeah, that was
Yeah.
you normal.
Epitomizes the 80s with a little gunplay and sibling sisters doing it for themselves. By the way, Sharon Farrell was in one of my favorite Kolchak episodes, The Choppa.
Yep.
Great pick by the Grue-Crew's number 200. 80s rules. No, that's not a typo. Nice to see Gizzy making a return appearance. Hey, happy Valentine's Day to the Grue-Crew across the decades. I guess that includes Chad several times. That was nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wish
I
I
get triple everything.
Yeah, triple Chad.
You know,
That's right.
speaking of 80s hair, it was on display in this movie too.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Not as high though. I don't think.
I
still,
thought the
but-
guy's hair was simple,
Worse,
of them,
yeah.
especially Mike. It's the guy chewing gum. His hair was
gosh.
like, oh my god. All right.
No, I'm not going to go into
I'll
that.
I'll take this next one. Jerry Chandler.
All right.
Jerry Chandler. This was always a fun one. Instant-ish monster scares with the zombies, followed by the partially exposed, ranging from borderline deranged mall brat boys to the desperate to survive crew of scientists, was a nice way to get different types of scares for viewers and challenges for the main characters. This is just one of those silly, fun horror movies that's always watchable pretty much any time, but I do find it to be a surprisingly underseen movie given its popularity. I come across total newbies to it all the time, and not just the old crowd that Jeff places himself in. Chopping Mall is an absolute blast, and Krull is a wonderful movie.
True. Back.
Hello, Jerry.
Newman.
All right.
Yeah.
Now we have a couple for From Beyond.
It's my
Hey,
turn.
Chad.
And that was one Ralph Miller joined us for.
Okay.
Evil?
This is from Evil.
Evil.
This was an early 90s VHS rental for me back in the day. I loved it. The movie is fine, Lovecraftian cosmic horror, and while not quite the Reanimator, it stands on its own. Night of the Comet, yes! Though I could have lived with any other one. Great choice.
True.
I'll start working on my comment for it after I finish this one.
That's nice.
Nice. Very nice. Very nice. And then Richard Weiskopf. Hi, guys and gals. I saw this at the theater. It was only out for 2 weeks, or I would have seen it again. Awesome.
2 weeks. Damn.
I'm with you, Richard. I'm with you on that.
Go ahead with the Nick one there too,
What'd you call me?
What?
What?
I refuse to go on.
What did he say? What?
I called him Ralph.
You called me
Ralph.
Ralph.
I was thinking about Ralph. So.
Okay,
Hey, Ralphie
George.
boy.
Because
Okay,
the Comet is thinking about Ralph too.
From the great Nick Gadman. Ralph Miller is back, baby. Yeah! I'm sure Nick would have said it much more eloquently than I did.
Yeah,
With an
I mean,
accent.
with an English accent. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we have one for episode 197, The Stepfather. And this is from Andy L. It's a friend that exchanges emails with me once in a while. It says, just listen to your review of The Stepfather. When you and Bill were discussing psychopaths, we thought of the scene, which is the best part of this particular non-PC for today movie. Hope you enjoy and do share with Bill. So I guess you'll have to search YouTube for Deny. I think it was from a Guide to a Married Man or something.
Guide for a Married Man, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's a funny bit of 1960s sexist comedy.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Yeah. But you're right, Andy. You're absolutely right.
Oh, yeah. Good pick.
And well played by Joey Bishop. Episode 195, Neon Maniacs. Also from Mike Zatz. Anybody?
I'll read it.
I mean, do you want to? Oh, okay, yeah. Go ahead.
I didn't know if we were going in order or not. So, from Mike Zatz, I finally saw this so 80s whatever it is. Did not catch this in the VHS rental shop days. It's the Signs alien weakness way before Signs. Yes, it was.
Yeah.
I don't get placing these killers in a moist, wet environment that is the Bay Area. Wouldn't the desert make more sense, or even the Midwest, like Iowa, perhaps, during the dry season? They have enough murders and serial
There's no
killers
dry
in Iowa.
season in Iowa.
Yeah. I know the answer is budgetary reasons, but come on, if you create a certain filmic logic, try to keep the basic alien weakness to a place that wouldn't easily bring about their destruction. Everyone gets armed with a squirt gun at the Battle of the Bands. Was this film written by 9-year-olds?
Possibly.
It could very well have been. But who am I to talk? This film was made. Not many scares for me, but the Grue-Crew made this a more enjoyable viewing experience had I seen this without their podcast. Keep up the great work, crew, and wear your alien Nostromo hats in the rain, lest the Neon Maniacs get you.
God, that's a good line at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
You
'Cause
should-
she wore that hat, right?
Yeah.
You should be writing taglines.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's really good right there.
Thanks,
You know-
Mike.
You know,
Yeah.
there are no dry seasons in Iowa. In fact, there was a 2-part episode of The Man from U.N.C.L.E. called something like The Iowa Scuba Affair or something like that, which I thought was pretty much an oxymoron. But anyway, all right. Now this is one of those nice. This is one of those good stories.
Okay.
And it comes from episode 176, Cannibal Holocaust.
Oh boy.
Go,
From,
Bill.
All right, I'll.
Yeah, go ahead. It's from West
Okay.
Delorio.
West Delorio. Hi, Grue-Crew. I'm sure you've received more feedback on this than just about any episode, but I wanted to give you a quick story from someone who had never heard of this film before watching it. Oh, God. I often hear people discussing films say, I'm envious of the people who haven't seen this, about films that are beloved, have a twist, or simply shocking. This is going back several years, so I was very familiar with it by the time your podcast aired. A friend and coworker who knew I liked horror handed me his VHS copy of Cannibal Holocaust and just said I should watch it. That's it. So my wife, oh God, a casual horror fan and definitely not of this nature of film, and I sat down to watch. I don't remember exactly how long she lasted, but it felt like 10 minutes before she insisted we turn it off. Fine. I could see this wasn't going to be for everyone. Thank God we didn't make it to the turtle scene.
Yeah,
I could already tell she was blaming me for picking this movie, even though I knew nothing about it. So I suggested we watch this other movie I rented called A Clockwork Orange.
Oh, but it's such a good movie, too.
I enjoy some other Kubrick films and wanted to see what this one was about. I'm sure you can guess how that went. Since then, my wife refuses to watch anything I pick unless I pre-screen it. Yeah, they never
That's
forget
probably
that.
smart. Yeah.
I did watch the rest of Cannibal Holocaust the next day when she wasn't around. Good move. As a hardcore horror fan, I can't say I enjoyed it, but I liked it, and it is an important film for discussion, which brings up a good question. Should movies have warnings, or does that take away from the intent of the filmmakers? As always, great podcast, all the decades. If you ever need help with those Italian names, I'm here. Great story, man. Great story. And as to his question, I mean, a lot of times, I don't think there's anything wrong with the warnings. A lot of these films put warnings in that are totally, fraudulent. You'll see a man turned inside out. The hell you will.
Yeah. I mean, the problem with that movie is that the real is, the fact that it's real. I mean, that is something.
That one, I think, is a special case. That probably deserves.
Right.
Yeah.
It'd almost be a crime to not give a warning on that film. I think that would just be cruel. Like his friend was for giving him this movie, knowing full damn well that he was going to watch this with his wife, unprepared. He was laughing about that.
I would do that. I would do that to my friends.
Well, yeah, really. The question is, what do you think, Wes?
I mean, okay, but let's also be real. I would ignore the warnings. I'd be like, yeah, whatever. Sounds like a challenge to me.
Banned in 47 countries. Whatever.
Like, I can't wait. Yeah. I'm super healthy.
All right. Appreciate it, Wes.
Yes,
That's
thanks.
Great
Wes.
story. Yeah, my wife doesn't watch movies with me anymore. She picks stuff and I watch it. Once in a while, I'll say, I think you'll like this, and we'll watch something. But otherwise, I watch my stuff downstairs after she goes to bed. She's just anti.
I mean, I get it. Like,
yeah, and I'm okay with that. I mean, she's the kind of person that.
Yeah, there's lots of stuff I don't like if it's not horror.
Yeah, she can't watch the Three Stooges without going, ooh, and she doesn't want to watch it because it's too real. All right, episode 150. We're going back, 50 episodes ago. That's like
that's
years.
Yikes.
Killer Clowns from Outer Space from the ever-present and always appreciated Mike Zatz. Who wants to take this one? Chad.
Well,
Chad.
That's who.
Okay. For Mike Zatz, now that you're approaching number 200, I thought I would comment on your 80s epic episode, number 150, Killer Clowns from Outer Space. First off, the ice cream tangent. I am in Crystal's camp.
Yeah.
Camp Crystal Lake.
No,
wait. That's another 80s tangent. I am more into soft ice cream like the legendary Tom Carvel used to sell. Oh, Cookie Puss, anyone?
Wait. Is that those Carvel cakes?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. I will admit I did have a pumpkin one of those for Halloween, and I bought it because it was a pumpkin, and it was actually kind of good.
It's the best.
So
they were the best.
No idea what you're talking about.
I was okay. Yeah. Wait, let me just interrupt. Sorry. Tom Carvel was the guy who owned the Carvel ice cream store, and he had a voice that sounded like he gargled with razor blades and cigarette butts,
like a thing from the Fantastic Four.
And he would come on and it's like, please buy these wonderful Carvel cakes. Look, from outer space, it's Cookie Puss, and Cookie Puss used the same pattern as Santa Claus. They just flipped it upside down and colored it differently. These guys didn't miss a bet. Every single one of their cakes could be reversed and flipped and be a completely different character. Wonderful. Carvel. The best.
Cookie Puss, man.
They sell
There
them in the
are-
grocery stores here.
Yeah,
They're pretty good.
I think Tom
There
Carvel
are
is no
none of
longer
these
with us.
in Iowa. There are no Carvels
well.
That
in Iowa.
stink. I didn't have them in Texas, but here in North Carolina they are.
Yeah. Back
Sorry.
Anyway,
Back to the film proper.
So not only is he getting off on tangents, so are we. So.
right. So are we.
You
See
fit
what-
right in.
Well, we set the precedent around here.
Sure.
I saw this on cable in the late 80s on HBO, I think. I remember laughing my ass off. Tangent 2, a good way to lose weight, by the way.
Hey, we're
Not eating Carvel
after
ice
you eat
cream.
no,
Okay,
laughing. You're laughing. You're
Oh yeah, that's yeah,
dun dun.
I
yeah.
need to try that. All right, Mike, appreciate it. We tease, but we love the input.
That's right.
Yes, sir.
Wes
Did we tease him?
Delorio.
I think we were
Oh,
like.
I called him the ever present or something like that. I didn't.
Oh, you call that teasing?
Yeah, I'm like I call that love. That's
You got
you
to have thicker
Yeah.
skin than that around here. My friend.
Yeah.
Also, thanks as always to Nick. Love you, buddy.
Yes, sir.
And Richard Weisskopf.
Yeah,
Keep those comments coming.
And then-
Evil
and Wes,
Evil.
and Jerry.
Jerry.
of course, Jerry.
Hello,
Jerry.
Jerry.
Newman.
So anyway, great comments.
Andy.
Well, that's it. Yeah, and Andy. Thanks, Andy. I get stuff from Andy Dell. He's like me. It's like some podcast will spark a connection to something, and then he'll send me. I got one coming up for Night of the Hunter where he tells me to check out a Robert Mitchum movie that we didn't mention. Friends of Eddie Coyle, I think.
Oh yeah, good one.
So anyway, I always manage to sell classic here in the other podcast somehow.
Yeah.
I need to
Sure.
vice versa. So that's it for this episode. But every 2 weeks, we'll be back with a specific film released between 1980 and 1989. Next up, we tackle one chosen by Bill. What are we watching, Bill?
One chosen by Bill, but it was one already chosen by Chad. So and Crystal was pushing it too. So a movie called Dreamscape, which is a cool little science fiction with a bit of horror. And you know what? I saw this in the theater the day it came out, and I have not seen it since. So
Oh my God.
This is actually, this is going to be quite a few years since I was acquainted with it. I've always remembered it fondly, so I'm looking forward to seeing it again, see if it holds up
Same
to
here.
my memory.
I love this movie.
I could see
Dennis
it like,
Quaid.
Yes. I was
Well,
I was like, he's so handsome. And then the snake when he becomes I was like,
yeah.
that is the coolest thing I've ever seen.
Did you guys know?
Oh,
Does anybody here watch The Boys, the TV show? The Boys?
yeah.
Did you know Little Huey is Dennis Quaid's
Yes.
son?
Yes, I did.
Huh.
Yep.
Didn't know that until I found it out, and then I looked at them, and they look exactly
They
alike.
do look the same. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
What show is that on? What is that on?
The
Boys.
Oh,
HBO.
okay. It's Amazon. It's
on
Amazon.
Amazon Prime.
But
Oh,
it's
is that the one about the superheroes?
yes,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
so funny but like if you're not into vulgar, don't watch it.
Yeah,
You probably don't want to watch this with Wes's wife. So
right.
Well, we might be connecting. We might be continuing
funny.
along in our series of connections because this will be a double tap for Dreamscape. Episode 2002, it will be originally covered in episode 100
Oh, cool.
5 years ago.
Wow. Waka waka.
So it's due, and I haven't seen it for ages either. I don't know if I ever watched it a second time either.
I think I saw it last year or it's only been like at the most 2 years for me.
I'm like Bill. I haven't seen it since it came out.
I feel like it kind of got lost.
Oh my
between the
god. I used to watch this movie all the time when I was a kid.
Oh, really?
I love the whole. I
Right.
mean, I think it's so
Yeah.
wonderful. Now, the effects are maybe not the best, but they're still okay. It's an '80s film.
They've got that 80s
Right.
charm.
Right.
Again, I'm saying this from my memory. I was a
Yeah.
big special effects buff, and I like the effects. I knew what bad effects looked like back then, and this one actually impressed me.
It's gonna be
Yes,
we'll see.
Good stuff.
We'll definitely
It's going to
have
be
fun.
good.
So
Yeah.
be sure to like, subscribe, make comments. We love comments. Hit the alerts so you'll know when we drop new ones. And there are other podcasts on the Gruesome Magazine YouTube channel, so you might want to check those out as well. One of them, the Gruesome Magazine podcast, Crystal is on. And what's another one? Horror News Radio. I think Heroes and Droids has been separated to its own channel, but
it did, yeah.
you want to check out Heroes and Droids too. That's what do you call that?
It's
Heroes and
sci-fi, superheroes, Star Wars.
Genre stuff.
Yeah, that kind of stuff.
Disney type, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. MCU, DC, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. All right. Catch us again here in 2 weeks for another great horror movie of the 1980s. As only decades of horror can do it. Say good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Hi, folks.
Gruesome Magazine.